Hello. In this video, I'll be rating Yakuza Like a Dragon and Persona 5 Royal from F tier to SS tier. These are based on my personal experience. Also, it's my first time doing this kind of video. Forgive me if I say something that doesn't make sense. So let's start with Yakuza Like a Dragon. I played Yakuza Like a Dragon back in, I don't know, March 2022 or something, I forgot. Okay, what is Yakuza Like a Dragon? Yakuza Like a Dragon is a turn-based game developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio. His main character is a huge fan of Dragon Quest.
Sure, I pretend I'm a hero when I fight, so what?
When it's time to throw down, my brain just starts thinking in Dragon Quest terms.
Not to mention there are some Dragon Quests referenced in the game, such as the party sound effects and etc. Yakuza Like a Dragon is a game about Ichiban Kasuga looking to prove his self-worthiness. With the support of his allies, you get new members throughout the story. Yakuza Like a Dragon is an open world where you can explore the city mostly in Isezaki Ijincho, Yokohama, Kamurocho Tokyo, and Sodenbori Osaka. With Isezaki Ijincho being the biggest city which you will explore. The game isn't like your average turn-based game. Instead, the characters move around and not just stand still and wait for people to attack. If you play this game, it doesn't feel like you're playing a turn-based game. The characters also use the surrounding objects for their advantage against the enemy. Therefore, almost everything can be used as a weapon. The game offers a variety of jobs as known as class, if you are massive JRPG or RPG fans, which has their own special ability. 4 is the max number for your active party members. There's also these personality stats like charm, which will reduce the chance of getting feared by enemies threat. I won't be talking about all of them, but you can experience it yourself. Story-wise, sometimes the story is hilarious, sometimes it's ridiculous, and the part that I love the most is the emotional part. But to certify it, the game knows how to play with your feelings in a good way. You get to feel the sorrow, the happiness, etc. just by playing the story. And after you finish the story, you're going to feel things. I simply love the characters in the game. In my opinion, you can easily get attached to all the other characters. Sure, some characters are hateable, but sometimes they'll start to grow on you. I'd give it a double S tier. For the combat, I love the amount of abilities you can unlock just by playing the game. The abilities are so silly that I had to make sure that no one else was in my room in order to do them. Yes, it's freaking embarrassing, but it doesn't change my POV on the game. I'd love to list more, but they'll probably just make this video longer than it should. You can also call for support by using your phone. Like, look at it.
It's showtime!
I'd give it a solid S tier. For the sub-stories, I personally only tried a few of it because of, let's say I'm lazy, okay? But I've seen some on YouTube.
Excuse me?
Huh?
Would you tell me how to get to the station?
Huh? What nonsense you speaking?
Would you tell me how to get to the station?
Oh shit! It's English!
Not gonna lie, they're actually pretty good. Yeah, they're actually pretty good. There's also this thing called bonds. Basically, you have to hang out with your friends and increase your bonds with them. it will allow you to unlock more jobs. I'd give it an A tier. For the mini game, I played some. Once is a go-kart mini game, which is actually really fun, and I'm sure you enjoy it too. The second one is a can collecting mini game where you have to ride a bike and collect cans to earn money. Not really my favorite, but that's probably the best for beginners to make money on the early game. There's also this mahjong mini game, if you're interested in that, because I'm not. I'd give the mini game an S tier just for the go-kart alone. Bro, it's Mario Kart all over again. For the soundtrack, bro, I've never found a single game that overall never has a bad song. Like, listen to this.
Work it, fix it.
Bro, words cannot express how much I love the soundtrack in this game. They truly know what they are doing with the music instrument. An easy double S tier, I'd say. Overall ratings, 9.8 out of 10. Yakuza Like a Dragon is the reason why I stuck around and fall in love with the JRPG and turn-based combat genre. I love this game to the point that I wish the protagonist is a real person. He's the type of person to never give up and always try to solve problems with his friends. He still considers his friend a friend even after they betray him. Unfortunately, he considers himself as a reverse chick magnet, which means he's not getting a girlfriend. He's like in his 40s in this game. Half of his life was thrown away because of an incident that happened in the game. In my opinion, to truly enjoy Yakuza Like a Dragon, you must start from Yakuza 0, Kiwami, Kiwami 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because some events that were mentioned in Yakuza Like a Dragon appear in previous games. Try it, I promise you won't regret it. But keep in mind though, because the previous games are not in turn-based combat, but more of a beat 'em up type of game. If you're really not interested in previous Yakuza games, then I won't stop you from actually going straight to Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's a great starting point, but you'll miss out on some context. I forgot one thing. The game is quite heavy on the storyline. That's why I recommend playing the previous game first if you haven't. On to the next. Persona 5 Royal. I started playing Persona 5 Royal back in July 2023 and finished playing it on August 2023. It took a month just to finish the game because of how long the story was. I heard the playtime is around 150 hours. If you're a perfectionist, if you're a casual gamer, it's around 100 hours. But still a lot though. What is Persona 5? Persona 5 Royal is a turn-based game developed by Atlas. It's about a high school student named, canonically, Ren Amamiya. No, Akira Kurusu is not his real name. I wonder who the heck gave him that fake-ass name. Ren Amamiya was falsely accused for an assault he didn't commit and was put on probation, which gave him a bad reputation at school. Persona 5 Royal is a revamped version of the 2015 version of Persona 5 that includes new contents for the game. I won't say much because that'll be spoiling some stuff for you. And just like Yakuza Like a Dragon, you get new party members throughout the story. Persona 5 Royal is not an open world game since you're only able to walk around some part of the city, but you can travel to different places via subway trains. There are a variety of places you can travel to, and main places are Shibuya, Akihabara, and Shinjuku. The game is like your average JRPG turn-based game. Nothing too complicated to the point you have to use a calculator in order to plan your attack, but I'm sure it's quite beginners friendly. The only thing you need to do is memorize the enemy's weakness, and that's it. Just hit and be hit. Persona 5 Royal, however, doesn't offer jobs or classes. Instead, they offer personas with different stats and different weaknesses. You can switch personas during your turn if the enemy have a weakness for, let's say the enemy is weak to ice. We can swap our persona with a fire type persona to defeat the enemy. Simple enough, right? I'm just telling you the basic stuff you need to know. The game will teach you more in-depth stuff. Story-wise, sometimes the story is hilarious, sometimes it's ridiculous, and you know the rules. And for the characters, I start with disliking them, but they eventually grow on me. I still have a love and hate relationship with some characters. I'll give it an S tier. For the combat, there are a variety of abilities you can unlock from leveling up. There's also this attack called All Out Attack, which happens when all of the enemies are stunned or on the floor. There's not much detail on the animations, but they're going for the comic style / anime style animations. There's also a follow-up attack called Showtime, which is a duo attack that can be triggered randomly. I'd give it an A tier, despite it being an old game. For the side content, there's this thing called Confidant. What is Confidant, you ask? It's bonds that you level up when you spend your time with your friends. You receive some advantage if you get the Confidant to a certain level. I remember you have to max out your Confidant with this one girl in order to switch party members while in battle. Unfortunately, you can max out every single Confidant in a single run unless you really have a strict time management. Because Persona 5 Royal has this time system where every time you do an activity in that game, time will pass and it will be nighttime. During nighttime, less activities will be available. I'd give it a double S tier, simply because of how fun the Confidant is. I'm sure all of the Confidant also got their own story, which is very fun to experience. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, you have to level up a certain personality stats in order to progress to this Confidant. For the minigame, I played some. I think the one that I tried is Dots. Actually, it's not that bad, but that's the only minigame that I'm interested in. There's also this billiard minigame. I don't really like it that much. I remember the person that I was going against had this ego with him, which made me hate him and billiard. I'd give it a B tier. For the soundtrack, I've never found a single game that has a soundtrack that can compare to the Yakuza series, but Persona 5 Royal might be a worthy opponent. Take a listen to this. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted.
So you know that we out there, swatting lights in the naked. Yeah, move fast, we not breaking. Remember, take over, it's time to put it down. Make over, nothing's gonna take away my life. What's over when it's started with that shoe that the black walking, I'm getting names over. You is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
I can't really show much of the copyright stuff. I love the music. I'd give it an S tier. Overall ratings 9.5 out of 10. Persona 5 Royal is my third turn-based game that I enjoy, and Honkai Star Rail is my second one. Not like it has to do anything with this video, but I'm just saying. The story of Persona 5 Royal isn't really realistic, but it really says a lot about reality. The protagonist is a cool and chill character. He's like an opposite of Ichiban Kasuga. He's a jig magnet, which means getting a girlfriend for him is like just a walk in the park. Keep in mind, he's only 16 years old. Game is quite heavy on the storyline more than the gameplay, if you're okay with that. In Persona 5 Royal, however, you don't have to play the previous game to truly enjoy it because the stories are not connected. But you can give the previous game a try. I heard Persona 3 is getting a remake and will hopefully be released in February 2024. Before we see the result, fun fact, Yakuza Like a Dragon and Persona 5 are referencing each other. In Yakuza Like a Dragon, there's some Persona 5 songs in the game. It comes in CDs.
Where have you been searching all along, confessing what I know, man, no. It's not a game, I'm not a robot, and I challenge you. I'm not a setup, I'm in your face, and I'm here to see you through.
Not to mention, some characters in the game have the same voice actor as in Persona 5 Royal. In Persona 5 Strikers, which is a spin-off of Persona 5, has a reference where a character mentioned dragon like a Yakuza, which is obviously referencing to Yakuza Like a Dragon. Let's see the result, shall we? Which game got the best story? Best story goes to Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'm not being biased here. Yakuza Like a Dragon has the best story compared to Persona 5 Royal. I had the most fun playing it. I had the most fun playing the story of Yakuza Like a Dragon more than Persona 5 Royal. Sure, some parts in Persona 5 Royal is fun, but it doesn't make me love it that much. Which game got the best combat? Best combat goes to Yakuza Like a Dragon. Again, the combat has more details and animations, while Persona 5 are just basic hit and be hit, like I said. Which game got the best side content? This one goes to Persona 5 Royal. I kid you not, Persona 5 Royal has more side content than main content. Which game got the best minigame? This one goes to Yakuza Like a Dragon. Just for the go-kart minigame alone, I think I'd enjoy the minigame in Persona 5 more if doing activities doesn't take the whole day. Which game got the best soundtrack? This one is a draw. I can't even decide, bro. They are both good in their own way. Yakuza Like a Dragon music genre is a more of a dubstep style music, meanwhile Persona 5 Royal is more of a acid jazz. Okay, so who's the winner? The winner of this debate is Yakuza Like a Dragon. Okay, listen. Just because I said Yakuza Like a Dragon is the winner doesn't mean that it's the same for everyone. Some people may see the opposite, like Persona 5 Royal is better than Yakuza Like a Dragon, yada yada yada. But remember, this video is solely from my opinion. Also, don't let this video be the reason you're not going to try out Persona 5 Royal. Yes, I know I may talk about ups and downs about the game, but nonetheless, Persona 5 Royal is still a good game. With that being said, thanks for watching.